So let's talk about rainy days, or at least dealing with things that are out of your control. It's easy to get frustrated or write the day off. You know, we came into the event with a certain expectation for that day, and due to the weather or things out of our control, it's just not going to happen. And that can be frustrating. You know, it's easy to have an emotional response to that that can really limit our opportunities for that day. This becomes a perfect test for your mental toughness, for your mindset, and your ability to really execute at the highest level. I'm out of Canton right now, and as you can see, the sun is shining bright. We're not dealing with a rainy day, but unfortunately, due to Hurricane Harvey, which just came through, Houston and Louisiana are crushed, and that's where a lot of customers come from here. San Antonio's in a bad state. Austin and Dallas have no gas because people are just panicking. The gas station at the Sam's by my house, there are 10 stalls, and the shortest line had 11 cars in it. So literally, you cannot find gas within 20 miles at this point. And unfortunately, since we're at a show that's an hour away from pretty much everything, you know, it's going to limit the number of people that make it out here today. So even though it's not raining, we're kind of getting that same effect. And so these things can happen. I think back to 4 years ago at the State Fair of Texas, we had a day where it poured. It was a disaster. And Josh and I were working in the Coliseum and, you know, at the end of the day, just licking our wounds. Josh had sold $2,400. I was at $1,900. And I decided to go check on the outdoor booth on Nimitz Drive. Now, this was a booth in a tent. And it was in the grass, so it got muddy, and they wouldn't let us have overhang, so the customers just had to stand in the rain. And as I was walking there that last hour under my umbrella, I approached and I saw Curtis Jacques, who was working in the booth that day. And Curtis was dancing in a puddles in the middle of Nimitz Drive under this like Chinese umbrella they were selling next door, which I didn't even think were actually waterproof. And I just thought he'd lost his mind or he'd just kind of given up the day. As I approached, I realized he was dancing because he was fired up. Curtis had actually sold over $4,500 that day. And that was such an eye-opening experience for me. He didn't talk to many people, but he made them all count. He kept his energy in a really good place, and he became that positive force that customers were naturally drawn to. And that is the opportunity we have when we deal with rain, when we deal with act of God, when we deal with, you know, any of the things that could be a roadblock for the day, but they don't have to be if you do it right. So a couple of key tips that I always recommend. Number one, make sure that you stay busy. You know, this is a great time to catch up on some reports and paperwork, to brush up on scripts, and to follow up on some things that you need to get done, but things that will make you feel productive, not just sitting there dinking around on your phone. That being said, while staying busy, you must stay focused. You cannot let yourself get lost in just texting or having a down energy, sitting down. You should be up at the ready and be that person that looks like you're actually doing a job. Second big key is you want to radiate energy and positivity from your booth. Customers are often dealing with very frustrated vendors, and you have to think about the customer's experience too. They came out that day to have a great day at the show, at Canton, at the fair, and a lot of these vendors are just really ticked off because all they're seeing is the lost opportunity because there aren't as many people there. And because they're frustrated, they miss out on all the good people who are there. When you're the booth that has energy, positivity, gratitude, you are naturally more likely to draw people in, and you will help frame the positive experience and story that customer will have on that day. At the state fairs for the last 3 years, in Oklahoma, my 2 biggest days were on super rainy days. At Texas, some of my best days have been that way as well. I've had at least one 5K day in the rain every year for the last 3 years at the state fair. The third thing is make sure that you don't try too hard or get that frantic energy. Sometimes we get out of our head. We see when we do get that customer that approaches the booth, we slip out of ourselves, out of our scripts, out of our personality, and we're just trying way too hard. We overwhelm them, we overload them, and we end up just missing out on that experience because we're not being ourselves. The fourth thing is use the experience to build rapport with customers. Don't dwell on it in a negative way, but make a joke about it, make light of it. You're here, they're here. Obviously, it didn't stop either of y'all. But big part of the purpose of building rapport is finding some shared interest that you can talk about, or some commonality, and this is just a natural built-in one. The last key is this, though. Remember, you only need to talk to 4 to 5 people, 6 people to make it a great day. Challenge yourself to be up to that standard. A couple sets can obviously turn any day into a positive experience. Be adaptable, be ready, be mentally tough, but most of all, be grateful and have a great time with your customers so they remember the Cutco booth as a place you always want to be, come rain or shine. Most of all, don't lower your expectations. We make days great. They're not great automatically, and you can make any day good. It's just a matter of maximizing your opportunity.